Welcome to the College Recruiter webinar. The subject of today's discussion will be on how studying abroad provides the edge you need in today's global economy. My name is Andrea McEwen-Henderson, and I will be your host today. I am one of the national account managers with College Recruiter and have a dozen years of experience in helping large and small employers reach recent college graduates and students. My primary responsibilities are facilitating our webinars, moderating the discussions at our college recruiting bootcamp conferences, as well as working with small to mid-sized employers on their entry-level hiring needs. College Recruiter is the highest traffic college job board with 150,000 unique monthly visitors. We help employers reach recent graduates and students of 1, 2, and 4-year colleges and graduate schools. We have permission to deliver emails on behalf of our employer clients to 7 million recent graduates and 10 million students, and can also target them by major, school, year of graduation, diversity, and more. Our other solutions for employers include job postings, targeted mobile banner ads, targeted display ads, virtual career fairs, and custom research projects. For more information about College Recruiter, you can reach us at www.collegerecruiter.com/contact or at 952-848-2211. Today's guest is Mark Shay, CEO of Abroad 101. Mark Shay is a business leader with a long history of success helping higher education institutions recruit and retain students. In a career that has spanned more than 3 decades, Mark is known throughout the higher education industry as an innovator and for developing products like gradschools.com and studyabroad.com, as well as for his consulting expertise in areas of sales and marketing. In late 2013, Mark returned to his entrepreneurial ways by acquiring Abroad 101, the first and largest study abroad review website. Recognized as a TripAdvisor of study abroad, Abroad 101 provides students, parents, and academic advisors tools to get out of a study abroad program while helping study abroad providers in their recruiting of future students. At this time, I'd like to turn the webinar over to Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. It's a pleasure for me to be here and to be speaking to you and your audience about study abroad. As you mentioned, study abroad is a big part of my life, helping students unlock some of the doors that lead to study abroad and hopefully to unlock doors to their career. I'll walk you through some slides and then be happy at the end to take some questions. I think we all know that it's very competitive today to get a job, that you need an edge to get a job. We hear from big employers that global is the way. There's global marketing, global sales, and study abroad, as you'll hear me say, is a big opportunity to open a lot of those doors. So I thought first, what is study abroad and how is study abroad perceived? Universities, of course, perceive study abroad in a way that's very supportive, ingrained in their curriculum. You see more and more students coming into college, not only thinking about study abroad, but actually expecting that they'll study abroad. You see the college view books, very filled with images of students overseas. The iconic study abroad experience is now part of the ideal of what is college. So traditional, very much a part of the college experience, something that many universities, many colleges are embracing, including putting it in their marketing. For the students, of course, it sounds like great fun. You get to explore the world, experience things firsthand, get out of town, spend a semester, spend a term, go overseas, experience food like you've never had, get to meet people that are very different from you, place yourself in situations that you've never been. The whole idea that you've studied, you've done the book work, and now it's a chance for you to go out, learn a little bit more about the world firsthand. Of course, mom and dad, not always so eager for their students, their children, to go abroad. For some, of course, parents will say, this is great, it's like liberal arts, it's an extension of what you're looking at when you take courses like philosophy and psychology, anthropology, sociology. Other parents may be alarmed that their students are changing majors, and oh, here we go again. And then if you don't recognize this photo from the movie Taken, the movie talks about some high school students who went abroad and were taken. So there's that image of it's dangerous and I can't let my poor child go some part of the world that we don't know about or that's strange. And then tying to the theme of jobs and your future, what does your future manager think of study abroad? As I mentioned, the employers as a whole, companies as a whole, love to talk about themselves in a global perspective, but in reality, it's all about the local and your local hiring manager, your local supervisor. They have their own visions of study abroad, and for many, it's not necessarily that of these other slides. For some managers, the perception is study abroad students are very undisciplined. They've seen the world, they've got great ideas, they want to change the world, but me as an employer, I'm not sure I want somebody to come in here and change the way we run things. Some employers, some hiring managers may view study abroad as kind of you've taken time off, you've found a loophole, you're taking it a little easy. There's even a thought that maybe going overseas, especially if you've gone to the developing world, you're going to have maybe an anti-corporate perspective, that you're going to come back and maybe view the corporate enterprise as something that is maybe a little rough and unfair. And then in the worst vision of study abroad, you've gone over and you've actually lost loyalty to your home country, you've lost loyalty to your home school, you've fallen in love with the foreign destination, and at some point you're going to go and move over there and live over there, so why would I hire you? So those are, I mentioned that just as stereotypes, things that people will all have this vision. Realistically, study abroad is how you present it. And as a study abroad student coming back, you've got the opportunity to paint the picture, to influence people, to guide them toward the type of vision that you want them to have. So, fair to say there's lots of misconception, there's lots of romantic views, there's lots of paranoid views, but above all, everybody's got a little bit different view of study abroad. And why? Well, it's because we see it everywhere. When we're in high school, there's high school trips. The Spanish club may go to the Caribbean or may go to Europe. You have exchange students coming into your school. There are stories of students taking gap years off, spending their year between high school and university, going abroad and going somewhere and experiencing some life-changing events. We've heard churches and mission trips. Frequently we'll go overseas. Certain churches have mission trips that take you for longer durations. Overall, the world population is much more mobile than it used to be. There's increased exposure to every corner of the world through video, through television, through online media, and even on our campuses. An awful lot of the faculty members that you have had have come from places that you're not familiar with. And so that allure of teachers from other parts of the world who may have studied in other countries than the U.S. will also draw some perception of study abroad. As we started out a little bit, global is in everything we do. There is global trade. We have to worry about jobs. There's foreign companies coming overseas. The products that we make, people take a little more, pay more attention to, and we'll look deeper into where they're sourced and the conditions of those workers. We have many of our jobs come from foreign-owned companies that will have acquired American firms or invested heavily in the U.S. Banking, global trade, currencies, all in the news. We love foreign foods, we love exotic restaurants, and at the same time we hear the news and we fear what may be happening in other parts of the globe. So it's fair to say that global is on the mind, global will affect your careers, and going forward, a study abroad experience may help open some of those doors. So What is study abroad and is it worth it? It's hard. There's no doubt finding an opportunity, finding a way to fit it in is going to be a difficult thing to do. You may have work study and have to time and requirements to be on campus. Your courses may be very aligned and you can't afford to take a semester off without missing some of the steps toward your degree. You may find that your family or work or social commitments, be involved in a sport, all make leaving campus for an extended period of time difficult. No doubt, just like college itself, cost is a barrier, and study abroad has not only the education component, but to get the most out of it, you're going to want to see things, you want to experience things, and that comes at a cost. Sometimes your friends and your family may not be so supportive. They'll wonder why you want to leave. They'll wonder why the current status quo isn't enough. And to many, where to go, what to do, how to do this is very difficult. It's hard to navigate. It's not clear as to what you should do. From my perspective, and granted I'm in the field, but one of the reasons I'm in the field is I've seen study abroad have profound impact on so many students, and the results time and time again improve the students' chances at life and perspective in life. You know, these are what I claim will help you in study abroad. You make you a better person. It'll give you the components to be a good leader. It'll allow you to look at things and become more compassionate. You will develop a sense of independence, be able and confident to do things that you may have never done before or may be afraid to tackle. You certainly will be aware of your surroundings and your environment much more than when you were in the cocoon of your local college or growing up in your family. You'll be conscientious to the outside. I think you become stronger, more confident. You get smarter in class. You get wiser when you experience it firsthand. So my advice, my encouragement to the students who are listening, find a way, make it happen, just do it. To find a way, look first on the experience. One of the things people worry a little bit too much about is, will I get credit for it? How does it become part of my academic process? First and foremost, I would recommend you think about it as the story you would tell in a job interview, the foundations you would use for it in a grad school interview. Why are you studying abroad? You're trying to experience something that you've never experienced. You're trying to achieve something that you weren't able to achieve back at home. And it's those kinds of experiences first that you look for, and then look for whether you're going to get credit or whether you're going to, have that add to the academic portfolio. I think what comes out time and time again is those experiences that you have, those moments of awareness and of enlightenment you had when you're overseas come back in amazing and very powerful ways. And I use this example that someday you'll be having just a casual conversation with perhaps a business associate, a potential business associate, a potential partner in some way, and you'll find an interesting intersection that you were in the same place at the same time as this person, you were nearby, you had a cultural experience that they share in common, and it's that bond and that door opening that is one of the unknowns, but one of the fascinating wild cards that study abroad makes happen. Questions, of course, with so many choices. Where do I go? What do I do? How do I get there? So I think it's fair to say that there's a study abroad program in any part of the world for any duration, for any budget. If you have a passion, the recommendation is that you follow it. If you love food, and if food is really a passion of yours, fantastic opportunities in countries like Thailand or Italy or Morocco. We're all familiar with Thai restaurants, Italian restaurants, Moroccan cuisine. Go experience it firsthand. If you're eager to find out how the world does business and how business is done on the other side, look at some of the more dynamic economies of the world. Go to Singapore, consider China, Dubai, the crossroads of the Middle East. If you have a passion about helping people and seeing the developing world further progress, countries like Ghana and India and Vietnam are fascinating because the economies are developing so rapidly, things are under constant change, and all those observations that you can make, or even in many cases contribute firsthand to the development of those nations. You can go it alone if that's your personality, or you go in a group if you feel a little more comfortable that way. My recommendation whenever I get a chance to talk to students is pick some place that you wouldn't go as a tourist. Find an opportunity that will get you way out of your comfort zone, but not so far out of your comfort zone that you're just living in fear. It is a little like that parachute jumping slide back before. You're taking a leap of faith. It's thrilling, it's fascinating, and in the end, it'll be quite rewarding. So that's just some overview. I wanted to put a plug in for study abroad and help everybody who's thinking about it think about perhaps in a different way, encourage you to do it, and find a way then to paint it into your picture as you go forth and start your career.
Thank you so much, Mark. That was, I'm sure, very informative for our job seekers who have joined us today. But now we have some questions for you. And so the first one is, my school study abroad program requires me to pay for the airline ticket to Spain, but otherwise the costs are the same as going to school here. Is that normal?
Yes, I think many times universities will offer the programs as their own. And where you get the university credit, you get the university that's helped develop the curriculum, you get the university support before and after. So it is fair to have the program listed at the university price, in a sense. Quite often the universities will have study centers where they'll have staff overseas. But even if it's a partnership, one of the ways the universities have these partnerships is exchange programs. And so in that case, you pay your home school tuition, the foreign student pays their home school tuition, and then you just swap positions. The advantage of that is that your student financial aid applies, and that, yes, paying for the travel, paying for the extras, that should be added costs, just like if you did weekend trips when you were on campus.
Got it, got it. So now, what if I don't speak a foreign language? Are my choices limited?
Oh, not at all. In fact, foreign language is quite often the subject of study abroad. I think it's fair to say in today's global economy, having a second language is an amazing skill. And the sooner that a student gets started on it, the better. So there's never a better time to start if you haven't started. There are study abroad programs that they call immersion that will allow you the basics of language acquisition in the classroom and then to go apply it as part of your experience. It's a very quick way to pick up a language. So if you're a first-hand learner and you like to get some experience speaking a tongue, then make language the subject. But on top of that, there are plenty of countries that offer their programs and their education in English. Sure, we're all aware of Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom that all speak in English and teach in English. You might not realize that every undergrad program in Europe is taught in English. English has become the language of education as well as the language of business. And in all corners of the world, there's opportunities. Belize, Ghana, Kenya, Singapore, South Africa are just a couple of countries where English is the official language. So it's not just the few that we think speak English. There's an awful lot of English spoken worldwide.
Thank you. Now, another question was asked. My university encourages exchange programs. What are they like?
Sure, so I touched a little bit on that with the price. Exchange is actually just a swap. that you go and act like a foreign student overseas, and they send a student back in your spot. It can literally be in your own room, and you go to the foreign student's room, or you would stay in an international student dormitory while overseas, and you would interact with lots of international students at that school. So as you try to find a partner for one of these exchanges, you would think about your major and the standing of that university as a major in that field, and you would also try to think about where the other students come from. What's interesting about exchanges is it's not just with American students or students from your host. You have a mix of all international students. So you might find that you'd be in a program in Germany, studying at a German university, and you'd have students in your dormitory from Korea, from Japan, from India who are there also on exchanges. And you'll have friends from around the world experiencing this time in Germany. That's sometimes the criticism of the one-way American-focused programs, is that if you only study with American students, even in a foreign land, you're still only going to have that American view of what's happening. The exchange actually opens up to a world view of your experience in that one country.
Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing that insight about study abroad programs. To all of you, I want to thank you for attending this College Recruiter webinar. The subject of today's discussion was Study Abroad Provides the Edge You Need in Today's Global Economy. My name again is Andrea McEwen-Henderson, and I was your host today. I am one of the national account managers with College Recruiter and have a dozen years of experience in helping large and small employers reach recent college graduates and students. My primary responsibilities are facilitating our webinars such as today, moderating the discussions at our college recruiting bootcamp conferences, as well as working with small to mid-sized employers on their entry-level hiring needs. College Recruiter is the highest trafficked college job board with 150,000 unique monthly visitors. We help employers reach recent college graduates and students of 1-, 2-, and 4-year colleges and graduate schools. We have permission to deliver emails on behalf of our employer clients to 7 million recent graduates and 10 million students, and can target them by major, school, year of graduation, diversity, and more. Our solutions for employers include job postings, targeted mobile banner ads, targeted display ads, virtual career fairs, and custom research projects. For more information about College Recruiter, you can reach us at www.collegerecruiter.com/contact or at 952-848-2211. Today's guest was Mark Shay, CEO of Abroad 101. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you'll join us in the future.